Okay, let me set the scene. I, a 20-year-old something of no discernible existence to the majority of the population, had finally made it to New Year's. It came quite fast, but I'm still proud of everything I got done in 2025. I expected New Year's to be this big event, but I in reality just spend my time talking with family, playing a few games, and occasionally disassociating in front of the Christmas tree, aka the best place to disassociate. I didn't even notice it was almost midnight until when my brothers came to tell me. At that point I needed to think of a New Year's resolution. What could it be? Everything I thought of over the last couple years didn't happen. I'm not very good at gauging the amount of time something will take. But then I remembered a CGP Grey video I watched. Then rather than coming up with a specific thing you're going to do, you come up with a theme for the whole year. I already knew what the theme had to be, so as the ball dropped, I readied myself for the year of socializing. I recently found out about a game development group quite a ways away from me, but they were the closest game development group to me. A few times a year, they have a 48-hour game jam. I always thought that 48 hours was way too short of a time for me to be able to make anything substantial. But back in December, I made a game in under a week that I'm quite proud of. More on that at the end of the video. So I signed up and decided to practice by making a game in 3 days. I was actually extremely thrilled about the idea I came up with. So thrilled that I overscoped and was only able to make the main character in 2 items. I'm still working on it, I'm gonna release it soon, but after I make a video on it. But I learned something valuable. Even 1-1 from the first Mario game is too big of scope. Have 2 or 4 moving parts at most. You probably already knew that because unlike me, you don't have 2 brain cells running around Costco stealing free samples. But it did prepare me for the game jam. Okay, the game jam is 2 days away. What's the weather gonna be? Well, the game jam was supposed to be all in person, but due to unfavorable conditions, only the first day is in person. This does work in my favor though. This is one of my sisters. She doesn't enjoy social situations, but now that the jam is remote, she can help me make the game. Me, my father, and one of my other sisters arrived at the library that the jam was being held at. The library was so big, 4 stories, which might seem trivial to some of you, but I'm used to libraries the size of Tractor Supply parking lots and 4 feet tall on the side of roads. After going through the world's most ominous elevator, we got to the conference room, which had around 50 people in there. I found somewhere to sit while the hosts tried to set up the big screen. Eventually, the guest speaker came in. He was Sam Ang, the creator of Skate Story, which shockingly is a skating game. He talked about the influences he had, the textures, the music, and the deeply confusing story. Then we got the Game Jam theme, textural. After the talk, we had to come up with the game idea. I had help from my father and my sister, and we started with a word tree. We thought musical textures, painting textures, UV maps, and many more. But then my dad came up with an idea based on an idea I came up with. It would be played with a drawing pad, and you would build a shield around the player to protect it from enemies, which would build up a meter that kills enemies. We loved that idea, so after coming up with 5 more, we went to go get cookies. But along the way, I wondered, could I make this in just 2 days? I decided that when I got home, I would plan how the paint would work, and if I couldn't figure out how to make it look right, then I would scrap the idea. Maybe I could... I could make it look right, maybe in 2 days, but by the time I did, I probably wouldn't have much of a game. So I went for our second favorite idea. Instead of textural, it's text-rural. My dad is from Texas, so I thought, perfect, without realizing that's not a game idea. But seriously, what would the gameplay be? Rural Texas. Well, there were 2 things I saw a lot of in Texas, crops and cows. I had already thought about making a farming game, but I couldn't imagine how to make a farming game simple enough to create in 2 days. But then I thought, you click on crops to water them, but you keep getting blocked by the cows from watering crops. Every idea grew from this, so I pretty much had the entire game's idea from that one sentence. Thankfully, due to my previous experience with overscoping, I kept the idea small. All I think I need is cows and crops, but more things I need to create will definitely show up. I woke up at 8:30, ready to start my day. I knew the most important thing to add was the transparency, so I told Katie to draw a rotund cow in her style while I worked on that. I copied the code for my desktop pet, which I got from following a tutorial by CodeMonkey, and I also added an input manager. Katie's done. Nice. While Katie animated the cow walk cycle, I worked on making the cows walk around and sleep. Cows is in parentheses there because the cows currently look like this. I used an enum for a simple state machine, and then I put the cowubes in little windows and gave you the ability to kill them. Oh wait, how's Katie doing? I'm sure you'll get the animation looking right soon. I then added the crops, cows spawning in over time, and I could control how fast the cows spawned in. I added crops running out of water, game over, the game already? Oh, nice! Now we need the cow's sleeping animation. Then you can be done for today. I added what? Aw, so cute. Perfect, you can stop for today.
Benji, what if the backgrounds to the cow's windows were made out of real paper?
That sounds great. You can do that and the UI tomorrow.
Nah, I'll make the backgrounds to the cows today while you finish.
Okay.
I worked for another couple hours, adding more crops appearing, an animation for killing the cows, and making the cows actually look like cows.
It's getting kinda late. Time to sleep?
What time is it? Yeah, it's getting kinda late. I'll stop when it's 12. So, okay, back to work. Oh, it's 12 now. When I woke up, I felt poorly, but I had a to-do list of boxes to tick. First, I created a small intro for the game. Then I had a few of my family members playtest it, which found a few issues, mostly cows spawning in too fast, that I quickly got rid of. While I did that, Katie created the UI, the background to the crops windows, and the crops growing animation. I felt confident I could finish the game quickly, so I worked on the sound effects, picking up cows, and a little bit of bug fixing. Katie finished a while ago. I just have to add the UI that Katie drew and the high score. This shouldn't take too long. I had finished everything a long time ago. Everything worked, but the score. It didn't reset. I tried everything. I worked for hours on this. Now I say I tried everything. At least I thought I did. But really, I just made a stupid mistake because I was super exhausted and just needed to take a step back. With all the times I've realized that I was being stupid after the fact, you'd assume I'd realize that my baseline is just being stupid. Well, I'm done. I'm saving feeling accomplished for tomorrow. I'm too tired. Okay, it's the morning. I don't really remember what time I got up at, but it doesn't really matter now. I'm no longer on a timer. At 7 p.m., everyone who participated in the jams would show off their games to the whole group. I wanted to rest before I played any of the games, but Katie played a lot of the games, and I later played most of them right before the call. Here's some of our highlights. Card Battle Fighters by Braindeer Games is a local multiplayer card game. Though I'm using the term card game loosely here, it's more card-based. It's got the art style of those DeviantArt posts that make you feel better about your own art, and it's seasoned to the perfect flavor of stupid. Though you might have noticed it uses the theme very loosely here. This happened a lot. Squish by Voltstopaka, J Gamerbach, Ratchet and Puppy Dog Love is a game, and what I mean by those quotation marks is that, well, let me just show you. I don't think I need to explain why Katie and me love this game. It's pretty obviously the perfect game. Tundra Tumble by Hamster Cheeks, Amber Eyes, and Fish Cupid is an obvious clone of Agnes and Winnie's Big Air from the Jelly Tilly website, but I'll let that one slide. Though it may seem simple at the first glance, the way it's controlled is genius. As you can't see, you control it by scrolling your fingers along the keyboard left and right. It feels great on the fingers. I'd love to use this control method in a game in the future. Piton by McLean, Deadeye Mode, Sockfire, Shane, Zelth, and Andrew Dev is a game where you climb a freezing mountain wearing no clothes and using your own corpses for warmth. Yeah. This game's hilarious. I don't know why I kept playing a game where you keep dying to no fault of your own, but it was strangely captivating. Swap Drop by Alex Niemeyer, Alex Eas, Ang310, Dylan Armstrong, Sketchcast, and Fool Moron is a 3D puzzle game, which wasn't finished in time, so instead the creator showed off the unfinished game build in the call, and it's honestly the best game idea in the jam. And honestly, one of the best Game Jam game ideas I've ever seen. You control a little artist who can change the texture of objects, which changes their properties. One makes things bounce, another one makes things easy to push. I can easily see this becoming a full game. I'm just scratching the tip of the iceberg. So many other high quality games and other projects are made for this jam. The call started and each game was being played one by one. But the host started to get antsy on how much longer the call would go on. They even suggested cutting the call short. It had been a little over 3 hours at that point, and I was starting to get a little worried me and Katie wouldn't get our turn. But then suddenly, we were the second to last game, and it was finally our turn. Well, I got a volunteer to play it, and was very nervous at first. But as more cows spawned in, people started laughing and commentating on the chaos. I love that. I can't imagine a more life-affirming reaction, and I love when games I create have an obvious emotional reaction to them. It's so fulfilling, and I feel this way about a silly game me and my sister made about cows. I'm still working on updating the most accurate simulation of rural Texas, and a few other game projects that I will be releasing soon. Here's a sneak peek. Well, I'm gonna go back to playing Tomodachi Life 2. I'm gonna have so many me's, like Morshu, Fluke Guy from the Game Awards, Spinch, Pam from Stardew Valley, and Jesus, because I'm a good Christian boy. I'm gonna make him marry Scott the Woz. That's all. Check your posture, drink water, and keep creating.